things can change in football really, really quickly, especially when it comes to transfers, and this Guilherme deal perfectly reflects that. There's only one thing we know for sure at this point, and that is Tim Steidten is in Brazil, but I'm even beginning to question that. But what do we know in terms of what has been reported? Well, a couple of weeks ago, Scarfman went off to Brazil, minus a scarf, too warm, to try and tie up deals for Fabrizio Bruno and Wesley. A few days ago, a week ago maybe, it was reported actually maybe it'll be Guilherme we go for and not Wesley. And it moved very quickly from perhaps being interested to talks beginning to deal agreed between the club and the player, his management team, his family and the player were all happy with the terms on the table from West Ham. And it was just a case of kind of two clubs get something sorted. But last night it was started to be reported by Fabrizio Romano that a deal was closed, that paperwork was being drawn up, €30 million, 20% sell-on clause. And there was almost an air of optimism that this deal could happen, or expectation in some people's cases, Gonzo. But it's not his fault, he's just going off the back of what's being reported. But it felt like this deal could happen. Should happen perhaps. Well, it's now being reported as broken down. I'm actually quite calm about it. I'll give my reasons why I'm calm, but I'm going to tell you what is being reported at present. Jack Rosser put up a tweet earlier on that said West Ham fear they will miss out on both Fabrizio Bruno and Luis Guilherme. Both Brazilians have been offered big deals in Saudi Arabia, and the expectation is they will end up there. Now, this was taken with a little bit of caution because Jack earlier on the year had said that David Moyes was going to sign a 2.5-year contract. However, Jacob Steinberg's followed up with his claim, which is in an article. It's not a standalone article, which I always think maybe reflects the seriousness of the story, if that makes some sense. There's basically updates regarding various clubs and players and their possible transfers, and there's one about West Ham there at the bottom of the article, and it says West Ham's £25.5 million move for Guilherme is on the verge of collapsing over personal terms. Steidten has been pushing to sign the 18-year-old who's rated one of the best young players in Brazil. There was optimism negotiations were heading in the right direction over the weekend. However, West Ham are increasingly resigned to missing out on Guilherme, who is capable of playing in a variety of attacking positions, and fear the Brazil under-20 international will move to the Saudi Pro League. Now, the reason I'm quite calm is because of how early on in the summer this is. Also, there was a rumour about this with Mohamed Kudus, and I remember the rumour very well because when we were trying to sign Kudus last year, I was away, so I wasn't really up to date with the news as it broke and stuff. I missed out on some views on the channel, I'll tell you that one. But I was excited for Kudus, and I got a little bit worried when Saudi came in because, you know, money, and he'd refused to go to Brighton. Now, there was talk that he would refuse to go to Brighton because of the release clause, but there was a part of you thought, well, was it because of wages on offer perhaps? And Saudi can blow not just West Ham, pretty much anybody out the water when it comes to throwing money at players. But this rumour was going around 12 months ago with, well, actually more than that, and that's quite important. 14 months ago, those rumours were circulating with Kudus going to Saudi. Tim Steidten will be over this. He'll know if the Saudis have come in. And I'm hoping it's just a negotiating tactic from Guilherme's side of things. But to sort of move the goalposts at a late hour, it's risky. It is risky. But the reason I'm calm around this is because it's the 3rd of June. Anyway, that's what I'm going to discuss in a minute. If you're new around here, please do subscribe. About a third of you watching this haven't subscribed to Hammer's Chat. Well, you're going to miss out on the possibility of winning a signed shirt in a couple of weeks when we launch that. You need to be a subscriber, so do get involved. Also, drop a like on the video as well by clicking thumbs up. Both things are free. It takes a handful of seconds. Helps out the video, helps out the channel, makes me very happy. Not so much this transfer news, so I'm a bit downbeat about it weirdly, because even though I don't know who the player is, I got a bit excited at the prospect of seeing some wonder kid at West Ham in this new direction of transfers. That will still come, that could still come. Whether we sign Guilherme or not isn't really going to change what Tim Steidten's plans are. It maybe applies a bit of pressure on him because he's gone to Brazil again. You don't really want to be coming back empty-handed at this point. Now, I criticised Steidten at the end of last summer. Steidten went to Brazil for the last few days of the transfer window, and I thought it was risky for someone that was in charge of negotiations to go there, and it was all eggs in one basket because I felt we needed another attacking player minimum, ideally cover for Edson Alvarez as well, but at least one more attacking player. He went to Brazil to get that striker and he didn't manage. It's not the end of the world, But I thought it was maybe a strange decision to do it at the very end of the transfer. Basically, you just removed yourself from buying anybody but those players in Brazil. We didn't get anyone. And it wasn't a failure of a transfer window, but I just thought it was a bold decision for him to take. And a risky one, and ultimately it didn't pay off. We didn't sign anyone. Now, I got criticised for criticising Steidten, but I stand by it. That was my honest opinion then, and to be honest with you, it's still my honest opinion now. I still think he made the wrong decision. However, I'm not going to criticise him for going to Brazil now. The transfer window doesn't even open for another 11 days. The international window doesn't even open beyond that. The season only finished a couple of weeks ago. If there's ever a time I want Tim Steidten to go to Brazil and really focus on trying to do negotiations for players based over there, it is now. This is when I want him to go there. And I say take a risk. The risk is very small. Yes, other clubs are starting to do their business. Will we miss out on anyone over here while Steidten's over there? Perhaps. But I think it's worth the gamble. I think he's done the right thing going over there. This doesn't even mean it's going to happen. Like I said, there's an expectation he might go to Saudi. It's quite it's non-committal, that reporting is. It's not that there's no even confirmation that Saudis have actually come in and put in a concrete offer. Just that there's a fear that he will go there. I'm still optimistic that Steidten ends up with his man. There are also plenty of other reports that there's other options out there. It's not just Guilherme, like Wesley. Wesley also hasn't moved to another club. It's not like we've missed out on Wesley. We've chose to try and get Guilherme ahead of him. So it might be that Steidten will then go back in for Wesley. We're being linked to Jota at the minute from Portugal. Again, I appreciate different positions, but maybe he will become a priority pretty quickly if we can't get Guilherme. I am really calm about this one. I'm really, really calm. Part of that is possibly because I don't know the player. If we were linked to somebody I really wanted at West Ham, let's say Matt O'Reilly, and we couldn't make it happen, then I might be a bit worked up over it because I just desire to see that player in the claret and blue next season. I can see how he'd fit into what Lopetegui is going to do. I'd be excited to see him play at West Ham. I don't have those feelings for the Guilherme deal because I've never seen him play. My excitement is just about the unknown, about the new direction. But like I said, we can still continue that. If we were to miss out completely and Steidten was to return to London empty-handed, as long as he does it in the next week or so, it's not the end of the world. I really don't think it is. It would throw up bigger questions for me, which is, well, are we still going to pursue the scouting in Brazil because it's got good intentions and just clearly good talent come out of that country? But how much money are we going to throw at scouting Brazil until we decide it's a bit of a lost cause and we're not really reaping any rewards? It would be a bigger picture thing for me, which is what are our intentions going forward in terms of scouting that league in particular. That would be my issue. But I'm pretty calm about things, perhaps naively. Perhaps I'm being a bit naive here. But it's the start of June. It came out that Lopetegui wants 4 signings by the end of June for when he starts on the 1st of July. I still think Wes Foderingham will be one of those. I think it's now that we can now formally negotiate with him in terms of his contract with Sheffield United. Well, that was 2 days ago, but I'd imagine Foderingham, if we are seriously interested in him, and I believe those rumours, then that'll get tied up in the next week or so in a pre-contract and he'll become a West Ham player on the 1st of July. That leaves 3. We're due to release our retained list any day soon. It's got to be done this month anyway. Some clubs have done it already. The expectation is Ogbonna will be on there, and Nang will be on there, Knightsbridge, but also Mubama and Ben Johnson. So that applies a bit of pressure in terms of the right back. But I'm okay with this news. Like I said, it doesn't mean it's over until. Listen, we've got to do it both ways. A lot of people don't like these shows in terms of the transfer rumours, and I understand that. I don't understand people clicking on the video and then complaining about the video. I don't get that. I've never understood it. I remember when Rice was going to Arsenal, if you did a video about it, there'd always be people going, another video about Rice. I'm like, Rice is in the thumbnail, it's in the title, it's clearly a video about Declan Rice, and you've clicked on it to complain about the content. I've never understood that, because never once in my life have I put Emmerdale on and complained I'm watching Emmerdale. I don't click on it because I don't want to watch Emmerdale. So anyway, there will be someone in these comments, because they won't make it this far in the video, they don't like it. there will be someone in the comments going, I don't like transfer rumours, don't pay attention, a load of rubbish, wait till they've signed on the dotted line. Okay, I get it, I get that, but what I don't get is why you've clicked on a video which is clearly about a transfer rumour to complain about Anyway, I've lost my train of thought now. But yes, both ways. So there will be some people who don't mind transfer rumours, but they will say, I'm going to wait till he's holding up the shirt and signed on the dotted line. And I agree with that. That's why I try not to get too excited or too worked up. I try and stay calm as possible. Although my excitement does run away a little bit when we get linked to a player I would really like to see at West Ham. But let's flip it, which is wait until he's holding up a shirt from a Saudi club and we definitely missed out on him. Or Tim Steidten landed in London, scarf back on, a bit chilly in June, and he's got nobody with him. Then we can have a moan about it. But until then, I'm staying okay. I'm still quite optimistic that this will happen. Largely based on the fact that Fabrizio Romano's source is Tim Steidten, or we believe it's Tim Steidten. Again, you don't have to agree. That's just my belief. It's Gonzo's belief. We've never discussed it between us. We just have our own individual beliefs there. We think the same thing. So if it has come from Steidten, then there's obviously a bit of confidence. So while, yes, the club might be wary Saudi's going to come in, one guy at the club feels quite confident that we had this. If he decides to go somewhere for money, I'm going to shrug at it. It doesn't bother me. I think for somebody that's 18 years old, I'd be a bit disappointed that they're choosing that career move, and it feels very financial based. I mean, there's a lot of talent over in Saudi now, but do you know, when it was Fabrizio Bruno, 28 years old, I'd get it. I get it why he would go there and cash in, set his family up for life. Completely get it. But an 18-year-old, I'm not so sure, especially somebody with the hype that Guilherme does that should be making it at the top of football. You'll make your money. It might not be the same as those in Saudi, but you're not going to be skint, all right? You're still going to be a millionaire. Just calm. Choose the right career path. And I think coming to the Premier League, West Ham, Clan Blue Specs, I think coming to the Premier League is a very good choice for any youngster coming out of Brazil in terms of coming over to Europe and play football here. So anyway, there you go. So the update from Jack and Jacob is that West Ham are worried that this deal is going to break down and Guilherme is going to go off to Saudi. The view from me is it's the 3rd of June. I'm not panicking yet. Hopefully, it's just a fear like we had with Kudus and we can still get the player. And like I said, the reason I want the player is because Tim Steidten wants him. It's not because of anything I've seen or anything like that. I don't know. I've never seen him. I can't sit here and say I really want Guilherme. But I always want... If Lopetegui really wants Kilman, I hope we get Kilman. If Steidten really wants Guilherme, I hope we get Guilherme. I find it more important that the head coach or manager, head coach, the guy in charge of picking the team, and the technical director, I think it's more important they get the players they want than I get to see the players I want at West Ham. It's nice if it happens, but providing only one of those two want him as well. Anyway, there you go. I'm feeling all right about this. It's not a good update, but I don't think it's the end of the world either. However, like I said, time is important here. If this was the 3rd of August and we hadn't signed anyone, I would not have this reaction. I'd be banging on my desk saying, what is this guy doing? I'm going to throttle him with his scarf when he returns to London. Needs to do something. But it's not. It's the 3rd of June. Season's finished. He's gone off to Brazil, trying to get business done. It's not worked out yet. It doesn't mean nothing will come of it. I'm okay. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about this. Actually, I'm going to tell you all. I was going to say, go away if you don't want to hear about this. No, you can stick around. We are auctioning off this Mohamed Kudus shirt. It's dirty because Kudus has worn it, not me. It's size medium. I would never fit in this. I ain't fitting in this shirt even if I tried, right? So this dirty shirt is worn and dirtied by Mohamed Kudus. He wore it in the Europa League in Germany. So it's match worn by Mohamed Kudus. We're auctioning it off. We bought 3 match worn shirts. We're giving 2 away on Patreon, and we're auctioning that one off to try and recoup as much of the funds as possible because it was an expensive transaction. If you'd like to bid on it, please email us hammerschat@gmail.com with your bid. It ends tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. What we're going to do at 6:30 tomorrow, we're just going to email everybody that has bid with what the top bid is. Currently £550. Top bid's 550. We're just going to email everyone at 6:30 that has bid on it, and then if they bid more, great. If not, that'll be the winner. We're not having an eBay type situation here where somebody emails at 7:59 pipping another guy by £1. I don't want that, right? That's not fair. I don't like it. We're not doing that. So 6:30, and then we'll do another update at 7:15 or 7:30. We'll just email people again if there is an update with the new high bid, and gives them 45 minutes, half an hour to reply if they want to. Anyway, there you go. Mohammed Kudus shirt up for auction if you fancy it. And like I said, the Bowen one and the Creswell one will be given away on Patreon. That's it. That's the update. Guilherme on the verge of breaking down. Gio not on the verge of breaking down. He's perfectly calm. But if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammer's Chat. Catch you tomorrow.